Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Patrick. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a worship pastor. I love to talk about and review gear and simply share my life with you. And today we are going to be discussing the Rode Wireless Go 2. So stay tuned, let's get into it. All right, so here we go. In this pouch, I have the Rode Wireless Go 2. And before we open up this pouch here, I just want to share with you the fact that, yeah, the Rode Wireless Go has been around for a while. The original version. It came with a transmitter. It came with I said that weird, transmitter. And it came with a receiver. And I bought one for my church to use with videos. I opened it up. I turned it on. Everything tended to work pretty well, except for there was this little interference in the background. And of course, I live in New York City. I'm surrounded by different types of metal in all these huge apartment buildings, and there's wireless frequencies all around me, so of course there's going to be interference. And then the Rode Wireless Go 2 was released, and they claimed that a lot of the problems that existed in the Rode Wireless Go, the original model, have been fixed. Plus, they announced some additional upgrades that I'm really excited about. And I gotta say, too long didn't watch, I guess. I love the Rode Wireless Go 2. They've solved every issue I think that was plaguing me, and I'm excited about all the things that they've done to make this an even better product. So let me open this up. Right off the bat, you get this little pouch that the Rode Wireless Go 2 comes in. Okay, and right here, you do not get a lav. I had to purchase that separately, so kind of a bummer there. But
this is a bummer, man.
Let me go ahead and first and foremost talk about these little transmitters, because do you need a lav? It's gonna help you out in the long run, but out of the box, no, you do not. These little transmitters are actually a microphone themselves. So I can take one of these, clip it to my shirt. If I just want to do a real quick, crude interview, turn on the receiver, it's going to receive signal from this transmitter as its very own microphone. I don't need any extra gear. But additionally, on this transmitter, there's a plug where you can plug in any type of mic you want, as long as you have the right adapters and the power for that microphone. Additionally, like I said, there's a receiver inside. But additionally, there is a Rode Wireless Go 2, right? The 2 means a lot of things, second version, but an additional transmitter. So the original Rode Wireless Go is about, I think when it came out, it was about $300, maybe $250. And now that original Rode Wireless Go, if you want just one receiver, one transmitter, it's about $215, $210, something like that. All these links will be in the description so you can check it out for yourself. But for $300, the Rode Wireless Go 2 has 2 transmitters, which double as microphones, and 1 receiver. So long story short, this receiver plugs into your video source, and then these 2 transmitters are recording audio either one at a time or both at the same time.
The same time, man.
That's it?
Sending signal to that receiver, which is then going into your camera, and you are good to go, or going into any other audio source, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Inside the box, you will also find these little dead cats, which were a real pain in the butt in the previous version of the Rode Wireless Go. But now they simply, now that I said they're simple, right, it's going to be so difficult for me to do this. Now these guys just, oh, there we go. They just twist right on, they don't fall off, and then you're going to just cut down on some of that wind noise if you're outside on a blustery, windy day and you're recording audio. You'll also see that there are USB-A to USB-C cables inside of your Rode Wireless Go 2 box. That's because both the receiver and the transmitters charge over USB-C. They also do some other things over USB-C that are really, really, really exciting. You'll also see this cable that will attach the receiver, the Rode Wireless Go receiver, to a camera or whatever you need to attach it to. It does not come with the cable to attach to a phone or like an Android or an iPhone. That cable you need to buy separately. You can buy Rode's cable, or you can go get one off of Amazon for a lot less, if I'm honest with you. I'll put a link to the description I'll put a link to the description. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Let's see, what else comes in the box here? Nothing else really, of course, except for the documents of like how to use it and things like that. So right off the bat, how would we use this? Now, you don't need to use both transmitters at the same time. You can just pick one up, turn it on, and yes, as soon as you turn these on, they sync up with the receiver. No, they just sync up. There's no problem. There's no issue whatsoever. The only problem you're going to run into is if there's something wrong with the product or if it runs out of battery, and then you just charge it right up. Then, if you turn on the other transmitter, they're both synced up to the receiver. There's no settings you need to change here. There are, however, some settings you may want to look into, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But how would you use these? Well, of course, if you have two of these, two people can hold them gently or clip them to their clothing, and you could have a conversation or an interview. Or maybe you're out in the field at like Comic-Con doing a ton of interviews. One of these transmitters can be on you, recording audio, maybe with a lav or just it being its own microphone or lav, and the other you can attach to several companies, including Rode, make a microphone handle that you can attach this to, and as you're interviewing people, you've got consistent audio with the other microphone attached to you. Maybe one microphone is attached to you recording audio through a lav, but the other is up above wirelessly transmitting your shotgun microphone's information back to your camera. Regardless of how you want to record with these things, you've got two microphones that actually sound really good, sending audio to this receiver, and it's going to your video source, and you're good to go. There's a lot of options here, and those are only a few that I've come up with and other people are using. You might use these Rode Wireless Go 2 microphone, receiver, transmitters for all sorts of other things. But there's another couple of features that I want you to be aware of. And for that, we need to go over here to my computer. You see, Rode has decided to give the users of their microphones a little bit more control, which could not excite me more. And I didn't think I was going to play with this very much until I saw some of the features that were available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my receiver and I'm going to plug the USB-C cable into the receiver. And then I'm going to plug the other end into my Mac. If I could only figure out how to do that. Just kidding. I totally know how to do this. There we go. Now, right away, it's telling me that there's an update required for this receiver. That's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and update it now. And this is what I love. With products like this, Rode can just send you software updates over the air and give you new additional features or even fix issues with your product. So once this update is done, you'll see this receiver show up inside of the Rode Central app, which again is a free download right from the Rode website. Now, you can see right here it says Rode Wireless Go RX receiver, and it tells you your firmware version right inside. And you can see here that the backlight is off, the gain mode is fine. This is something you could change. You can say, I want to make fine adjustments to the gain mode. I just want to make coarse adjustments to the gain mode. And when I make this change, it'll also change the way it looks on the larger LED readout on the Rode Wireless Go 2 receiver. There are different modes here. There's split mode, there's merged mode. I stay with split mode. And what that means is when I record with these two microphones, these two transmitters, it's sending two separate files of audio to this receiver. And that's going to be important in a little bit. Safety channel is off for now. That only works in the merged mode, but we can talk about that another time. The backlight, you can change not the backlight. The button on this little receiver, when you push it, can change the backlight or add a marker to your audio. If I unplug this receiver and plug in one of the microphones, right here, you'll see that it also shows up in the Rode Wireless Go Central app. It also needs an update, which I'm going to perform now. And once this update is done, again, more features are being added to this microphone. One that I'm very excited about. But now that this Rode Wireless Go update has happened, now the microphone is also showing up in the Central app. If I click on that microphone, you'll see there's some settings here. For instance, record, always, pad on or off, LED, or again, that button. What does it do? Mute or none or marker. I'm going to have it do mute, okay? You'll see its battery life, recording, broadcast, uncompressed audio, because this is my favorite feature so far. These little transmitters also record directly onto themselves. Did you hear what I just said there? These transmitters receive audio, send it to this receiver, which then plugs into the camera you're using and records audio onto it, but as a backup. One of the features that Rode has added to the Rode Wireless Go 2 is that when these transmitters begin recording audio, as soon as you turn them, when these transmitters are turned on, they start recording audio to themselves, up to about 7-ish hours, I believe. Do you understand what that means? So what that means is, if I'm sitting here recording this video, and I'm not using these mics to record this video because I've got my Samson Q2U right here in front of me, but if I had this guy turned on and the lav was strung up here, or I even just had it attached to me or had it on a microphone, and it's transmitting audio to the receiver plugged into my camera, it's also recording a backup, uncompressed wave file to the device itself for up to 7 hours. And this, in the few weeks I've owned this, has already saved my butt. There have been plenty of times where I've actually set these guys up for a couple of different interviews, plugged in my receiver correctly, but somehow a cable got loose or something and I lost audio. I went back, plugged in this guy to my computer using its USB-C port, and the uncompressed audio that I recorded is right here. And I could just rip it right from the device and take it and put it into whatever project I was using. Let me show you how that works. So right here, you can see all of these daily recordings. And even while it's recording, let me see if I can show you. Yeah, see these little red flags here in these recordings? It's showing you markers where it felt like there could have been a dropout so that you can just be aware they're in there. So if I was recording with these two guys and this was plugged into my camera and I lost audio for some reason, a cable fell out or something, I could go here to the actual transmitter plugged into my computer, open up the Rode Central app, find the recording for that day, and export that audio. I could name it whatever I wanted. How about today? And then I just say export, and I'm going to export it to my desktop. It exports the audio file. It's about 8 minutes long, so it should take about 30 seconds here. And then now I have a backup of my audio ready to be used for whatever I need. What a lifesaver! Isn't that great? Now that also means, let me just go ahead and today, here it is. Let me open it up. Now, there's another way that this is massively beneficial. When this feature was released for the Rode Wireless Go 2, everybody went, that's amazing. But in order for these little transmitters to record to themselves, the receiver had to be turned on. Guess what? That firmware update that I just updated at the very beginning of this video, that cancels that out. You can set it up, and now this is a feature that may not be important to you, so you don't have to do this, but you can set it up so that as soon as you turn on this transmitter, even without having the receiver turned on, it begins recording raw audio to itself as a backup. What a lifesaver. What a lifesaver. Not only is that a lifesaver when I'm recording a video like this, but that's also a lifesaver because, and let me unplug this. Is there anything else I want to show here in the Central app? No. You were just given by Rode the smallest field recorder that I've ever seen. That literally, if you set it in front of someone, let's say you and I wanted to record a quick podcast. We don't have any gear in front of us. It's just going to be an audio podcast. I don't need a computer. I don't need an audio interface. I don't need a USB microphone. I simply take these guys, put them in front of each of us, turn them on. Hey man, how's it going? Let's get the podcast started. Roll the intro music. Take these, plug them into the Central app, take the audio, and I am done. Isn't that amazing? Now let me show you another feature that I'm also super impressed with in the Rode Wireless Go 2. This receiver is an audio interface. It's the smallest audio interface that you will ever interact with, and it doesn't have a ton of features, but it's an audio interface. And let me show you what I mean. I'm going to open up Logic here, and I'm just going to create a new project. And what I'm going to do is take this USB-C cable, plug it into my Rode Wireless Go 2 receiver. Let me go ahead and go here to my preferences and go to audio. Input device is, let me turn it on. Whee! And once this Rode Wireless Go 2 receiver turns on, it's even going to ask me right here, do you want to use this as an audio interface? Use. But I'm going to add another audio channel here. And I've got audio 6. I'm going to call this Rode 1 and Rode 2. And I'm going to make sure my panning isn't all the way to the left. So now I'm going to go over here to my transmitters. Remember, my receiver is plugged in. Little jittery. Only one cup of coffee. My receiver is plugged into my computer, being used as an audio interface. Logic sees it, but once I turn on these Rode transmitters, let's turn them on at the same time. Okay, they're on. You can see the blue light. I'm going to go to Rode 1 here and make it input 1. There it is. Record. I'm going to go to Rode 2 here and make it input 2. Now, which one of these guys? I should label these guys. Which one is input 1? Which one is input 2? So let me just pick this guy up. Input 1. Input 2. You can see them being read right there on the screen. So now, if I hit record, what am I currently looking at? One transmitter that's recording audio right into Logic. You can see it being read right there. A second transmitter or microphone recording right into Logic. You can see it being read right there. No problem. Working perfectly. But not only do I have this going straight to Logic, there's also a backup recording going straight into these transmitters. So I cannot see how this is a bad purchase for anybody looking for a microphone situation that's going to work well in almost every environment they find themselves in. So if you're a podcaster, a YouTuber, if you do interviews, if you love making videos like me, if you're a vlogger, this is the product that's going to work for you. I want to go a little bit more in depth in some other videos, but this is just my straight up Rode Wireless Go 2 intro. I hope you liked it. All applicable links will be down in the description. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at Patrick Murphy. You can subscribe to this channel. You can like this channel. You can let me know if there's videos that you'd like to see. But thanks for watching today, and we'll see you in the next one.